You are looking live here in beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah, here at DNA HQ. It is the DNA Sports Recap podcast. What's going on, AJ?
Not much, buddy. I'm just enjoying a beautiful day here in Salt Lake City. What are you up to?
Same old, man. Just trying to get through another work week,
Yeah.
Doing all the same thing. Let me just double check. Make sure we're live on the Instagram as well. If you're joining us on Instagram, greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes.
If you're joining us on the UBTubies, YouTube, please feel free to jump into the chat and let us know where you're watching from. And feel free to comment throughout the show on what we're talking about. We love interacting with you guys. Guys, gals, we love to chat with you all. So please feel free to comment down below where you're watching and all that good stuff for sure.
Yes, we appreciate all of your guys' ridiculously large engagement.
That's right.
My mic's messed up, Darren. I'm trying my best.
Oh no.
That's fine.
It's gonna be one of those shows.
It's gonna be one of those shows where we're constantly just like doing this number.
Well, we're just messing around with our mics. Now you got me concerned about it, so I gotta get this a little closer.
Okay, here we go.
I think we're good.
Here we go. We're gonna give her a run.
Yeah, see, the problem is my DNA logo is not showing now, but that's okay.
It's okay.
I can't have that.
There's a big one up there.
There's a big one up there. There's two up there. There's one above your head, and there's one behind your head.
Yeah.
So I think we're branded. By the way,
branded.
Speaking of which, if you are checking out our brand, check out our merch down there in the live stuff down there. Let us know if you can see it. If you can't see it, that's cool. We'll get it up there. But we got some sweet baseball gear up there.
Yeah.
We got some Diamonds Are Forever shirt, which I think is pretty cool. It's got
they are sweet shirts. Please just buy one.
Yeah,
I just want to see anybody wearing one.
Yeah, make sure you tag us on Instagram when you post yourself in a DNA shirt. We also have the 6 + 4 + 3 = 2. If you know, you know. Check that one out.
That one's coming.
Yep. That one's not up yet?
It's not up yet. That's on the to-do list.
Okay. Yeah. And I also still think that Hot Red Honey that one would be a good one.
You got the artwork. I'll put it up.
I think it's a good one.
Yeah. Jazz fans, tune in. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah. I mean, if they're tuning in, they're watching. We always use that term, tune in.
Well, Jazz fans, give us your chime in. That's actually what I meant to go with, chime in.
We always say tune, but it's probably chime.
Yeah, just chime.
Yeah.
Chimes are much better than tunes.
Yes. Also, folks, let us know if you can't hear our audio. We're just going to go ahead and double check and make sure we're on the right one here, just real quick, just to make sure we're covered.
Yeah.
Yes, we're good to go there. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, we're going to jump into the intros for the podcast. It goes up on our audio podcast. If you have not yet, check us out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys get your audio. Our whole show, unedited, ends up on those. Somewhat edited. Ends up on
lightly edited,
like
lightly salted.
Yeah, exactly.
Not chips.
No. Okay, I lost the analogy somewhere, but check us out on there. Links to that to our Spotify will be down below in the description as well. All right, so you want to go ahead and launch into the subjects then?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's talk about the upcoming game against the.
You did it again.
Sorry, I did it.
We need the intro.
The intro.
Do you want to do the intro this week?
No.
Okay.
Still, I don't even know the intro. That's your lines.
By the way, you left. By the way, again, just so you know.
Oh man.
All right. Hello, Internet. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Is that all you have?
I can do it better.
Okay.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the DNA Sports Recap.
Let's preview the University of Utah with Arizona visiting at Rice-Eccles Stadium.
In the National Hockey League, your Utah Hockey Club is through 2 preseason games. Let's check it out so far and see what's coming up.
I don't know anything I don't even know what the Utah Jazz one is.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit off-season Utah Jazz. In Major League Baseball, did Shohei Ohtani have the greatest game ever in the history of Major League Baseball?
Yes.
Let's chat about it. All that and more. My name is Darren. That is AJ. And this is the DNA Sports Recap.
Roll the intro.
How's it going, AJ?
I'm doing great, buddy. I'm doing great. I'm ready to talk and discuss all of our topics for the week.
Yes, we got a busy week, so let's go ahead and jump right into it here. First, let's go ahead and talk about something that we actually kind of joked about last week, which, shame on us. Apparently, there was a little bit more interest in our boys up north than I was expecting, but it looks like the news that came out this week, and again, just like it always is, it happens right after we're done recording.
Of course.
Which is how that works. We should really, you ever see, is it Last Weekend Tonight with John Oliver? Yeah, it's show on, it basically recaps the whole week on Sunday. That's kind of our stick. We recap the whole week in sports that already happened
on Wednesday.
So yeah. Anyway, so speaking about it, we talked a little bit about the teams that are joining the Pac-12. Do you remember those teams that are joining?
I do, absolutely.
All the state teams, right?
Yeah. Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, and now we have a new addition.
And what is that addition?
Utah State University.
That's right. Go Aggies. You guys have now part of the Pac-12. So congratulations, all Aggies fans, all alumni. You are now an alumni of Pac-12 school. Congratulations. That's fantastic.
It's weird that it's literally all the state teams.
Yeah, so far. Yeah, so,
that is really strange, actually, because it's literally even Oregon State and Washington State.
Yeah. So sorry, UNLV, you're not allowed in.
Yeah, you didn't make the cut. Yeah, unless you want to be UNLV State University.
Yeah, you're not going to make the cut, which UNLV is dealing with their own stuff. Did you hear about this?
I did see this.
Oh, my goodness.
Dude, that's absolutely crazy. They got players just like, nope, you didn't pay me the $100K you promised. I'm out.
Yeah, and the NCAA kind of just like, nope, we have no say over it. It's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah,
you missed a golden opportunity, by the way. NCAA. You're technically the governing body of this.
Yeah.
And you decided to be like, not our problem.
Yep. 100%. That's exactly what they did too.
All you're doing is making it just giving more and more evidence for the top 50 schools to break away and have college football just not be part of the NCAA. That's all that's doing. But anyway, back to the Pac-12 and back to the Utah Aggies. I think this is probably the best play for them to do. I mean, we're, steadfast going into we joked about it last week that they are about 5 or 6 schools that down the list from being invited, but apparently we were wrong on that. I think what the Pac-12 is doing is just poaching all the Mountain West schools they could possibly get their hands on.
They're definitely trying, and I do like I mentioned last week, the big thing is I like that they're trying to keep the geographical area together, because that's what the Pac-12 conference is all about, right? It's a West Coast conference. You can be to these schools, you can fly in and out of all of these schools in 2 to 3 hours. I mean, it has a lot of advantages. Yes, you're going to play night games and late games and all that kind of stuff, but this is a really good, this conference produced some really good football in the past.
I did, especially last year.
And especially last year. And the fact is like now you're getting teams that are going to have an opportunity to do some better recruiting. They're going to have some of that budget. They're going to get some more of this TV revenue. And you're going to see some of these programs start growing up. I love that Utah State's one of them. They've always been a good program in the Mountain West. And now they're going to have an opportunity to do even further recruiting. And the best part is once you announce this, the recruiting starts now.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like you can start recruiting. Like, hey, if you come to the program next year in 2026, we're in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's, you've got NIL deals. You've got all this stuff. We've got money in the program. They can start upgrading their facilities. Like it happened at the U really quickly. So I'm really excited to see another university in the state take the next step.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it. I think it's just perfect the way they went down. Apparently, the Pac-12 had an invite out to the university to Utah State, which I didn't expect. We thought they were very far behind. Think schools like UNLV and Memphis and stuff like that.
Even Air Force was on there.
Air Force, yeah, exactly. So there was quite a few schools ahead of it, but this is perfect for them because it basically just kind of tells you, okay, we are gunning for the Mountain West. And now there's a bunch of lawsuits that are going back and forth, people suing based over all of the stuff.
Yeah, and I don't love that. I mean, I don't love them just poaching the whole conference because, I mean, I was a Pac-12 fan. You know what I mean? I loved watching that conference. And before that, I was a Mountain West fan. So I know the pain of just watching a conference completely dissolve. And then there's teams that don't know what to do. And the fact is you either have to call up, FCS teams into the FBS division in the Mountain West, or it's just like you said before, it's this snowball effect that is what is college football actually going to be.
Exactly. That's something I definitely want to get into because that's where this is all heading, right?
Oh, absolutely.
This is really a no-brainer for Utah State. The schools are looking anywhere of 10 to 15 million per school, putting them in a better position to get noticed for a stronger conference, right?
Yep.
Albeit that slightly. stronger conference than they were in. But honestly, it's not about the conference, it's about the schools. The schools made the Pac-12 previously, and it's not about, well, now the Mountain West isn't going to be as strong because all the good schools left for the Pac-12.
Right.
It's the schools that make the conference. And if you create a good enough, and like you said, geographically, it's going to make all the difference in the world. But this is definitely putting them in a better position. The next round of conference realignment is fastly approaching. I told you my prediction is less than 5 seasons away, probably less than 4 seasons now. The conference realignment is happening. It's going to be your top 50 halves, and then the rest of your have-nots. The top 50 halves are going to be forming a super league that's going to be separate from the NCAA. They're just going to pull away from that and say, we're doing our own thing. And then you're going to be left with all these other schools on the outside looking in.
That are just the new NCAA
football league, right? So there's going to be a whole bunch of that going on. And really right now, what you need to do, if you are the Mountain West Conference and the Pac-12 Conference, is you guys need to come together. Drop the lawsuits and come together with a better model that'll allow you to keep both conferences relevant, but also help move forward in launching and having being in the driver's seat of what the next conference realignment looks like in college football. And I've been talking to you about this for a while now.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a little bit over a year. And here's my crazy idea.
Okay.
So I think the Mountain West and the Pac-12 should enter in an agreement where they follow the relegation model. Are you familiar with the relegation model at all?
Not familiar enough that you shouldn't explain it.
Okay. For our audience they're listening, the relegation model is basically similar to, if you watch Premier League soccer, that's basically quite common over there, that basically how it works is you have your top 8 teams, right? Those will be your Pac-12 teams.
Okay.
And then you have the rest of the teams be in the Mountain West. The winner of the Mountain West gets promoted to the Pac-12, and the last place team in the Pac-12 gets demoted to the Mountain West.
So you're just kind of switching conferences kind of year in, year out.
That way you still have the value of wanting to win your conference in the Mountain West.
Absolutely.
Which will promote you to a bigger league, which again comes with more NIL, more money coming directly from, from your TV deal. But it creates a whole new dynamic for these other schools, right? To where you have an end game, you have an end goal in mind. Imagine the winner of the Pac-12 with this relegation model of a league, extended league of about 16 teams, right? Where you have that ability. The winner of that team, if they go undefeated, could potentially be in an argument for a at-large bid for the college football playoff, right? So by getting in front of this and doing something like this relegation model, you can prove the idea or the concept of what college football could be going forward, which is this relegation model. Imagine the ACC being the relegation conference to the SEC.
Yeah.
Imagine the Big 12 being the relegation conference to the Big 10.
Yeah.
So basically what you're doing is you're creating these sub leagues, and that way everybody still has a seat at the table potentially. And that way we're not going with the haves and the have-nots. We have a collective system of the top 125, top 150 schools in the country, what have you.
133.
Thank you. 133. Good job. Having all have a potential seat at the table and all potentially still being able to survive in what's going to be the new college football. I don't know. What do you think of the idea?
I mean, I actually love the idea. I think that there's obviously a lot that needs to be worked out in that, but I mean, just at the basis, the idea to have a conference full of teams that, like you said, all have a shot to push and win games. And if you can win your sub-conference and have a chance to move into the main conference, once you're in the main conference, especially depending on how all the conference realignment works, you got a chance to play for a college football playoff.
Oh yeah. Imagine if the BCS busting Utes back in the day had a chance at a national title.
Right. Which they should have.
Yeah. So I just think this model, this idea of relegation would work in college football. I don't think it would work outside of college football.
Right.
Like if you try to do it in baseball or basketball, I think some of that would fall a little flat. Basketball already is the best college. Like the dance is like the NCAA tournament is just the best college football.
Yeah. The best
playoff format.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what college football is trying to emulate, but I do think this relegation model will allow teams to basically a lot of teams that would just simply are going to be on the outside looking in still have a shot.
Yeah, no, I think it could totally work. I think you should call the Pac-12 and tell them they're being idiots.
I definitely should. Well, they definitely do need to get together. I do think those two conferences need to get together on some page and realize that the Big 12 is going to be able, sorry, the Pac-12 is going to be able to come in and poach their teams, and take who they want, basically. You're offering UNLV $15 million a year when you're not anywhere close to that in the Mountain West. Who's going to say no to that? Right?
Yeah,
it's really hard to say no to that.
But I mean, UNLV can't even keep their star players because they can't afford to pay them NIL money.
So which would make you want to move to a conference where you could probably afford to pay.
You probably afford to pay some NIL money.
Yeah, if UNLV announced, hey, we're going into the Pac-12 next year, maybe the quarterback sticks around. Who knows?
The quarterback hasn't left yet, though, right? He just announced he was
redshirting.
He's just redshirting his year.
No, he's away from the program. He's gone.
Right, and then you saw the running back.
No.
Oh, that was just maybe a couple hours ago. Their fourth best producing running back announced that he was also going to take a red shirt, and he would be entering the transfer portal.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so 2 players in UNLV. I was reading that on my way over here. Actually, I wasn't reading and driving. I was stopped, but
of course. Thanks for making that clarification.
Safety first.
Exactly. Always safety first, folks. Wear your seatbelt. Now, when it comes to that, I think it's really interesting that is kind of happening. I don't know where that line needs to be drawn, though. Is that at the conference level? Is that at the NCAA level? Or do we basically got to hold these coaches accountable for, look, you promised that player that money. You guys got to figure out how to pay that player, or he gets to walk.
I think it's at the university level. I mean, yeah, because exactly, like I would assume that no coach can make any kind of NIL promise like that without discussing it with the university.
Right.
I mean, the university and all of their budgeting says, yes, if we can get him in here, this is what his NIL deals look like. Yeah, because they paid for the quarterback. I know they paid him like $3,000 for him to relocate.
Right.
That was paid out, but he hasn't seen any of the other $97,000 that's owed to him, which I would be a little frustrated too.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, though. Imagine in life, in our lives, in our normal people lives out there, if someone offered you a job where you were going to get paid $100,000 more a year than you're making now, would you take them on their word, or would you want a contract in writing first?
Well, I mean, yeah, you're going to take them up.
No,
you know what I mean? Especially,
I wouldn't. I would make sure I had it in writing.
Yeah, but we're talking.
All he had was a coach's word.
Oh, okay. I see it. I see what you're saying.
If there was no,
yeah.
If the agent, I think the agent screwed up, honestly.
Yeah.
You need to have something in writing saying that this coach promised it.
Yeah, because you go to a huge company, Microsoft, for instance, and they're like, yeah, we'll pay you whatever amount of money. And you're like, okay, cool. I'm quitting my job and heading over.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we were just kidding.
Yeah. Well, we can't offer you that, but you can potentially make that. Yeah, no, that's some vector knife BS right there.
Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all.
Allegedly. Don't sue us. All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk a little. Let's go ahead and jump into the comments here real fast. We do have a comment coming from Jonathan, Utah Hockey Club. Big fan. I will look.
See new Phoenix, Arizona. Not sure exactly what that means, but thank you for the comment.
Arizona. Yeah, appreciate the comment, man. And we'll definitely get to our Utah Hockey Club team here shortly. So be sure to stay tuned, stay watching for that. But yeah, anyway, I think it's a great solution to fix college football, the college football conference realignment. I think it would allow a lot more teams to get in. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know in the comments down below what you think in regards to that. Is that a way to fix the Pac-12 and college football conference realignment and all that mess that's going on right now? Love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments down below. All right, let's go ahead and move on over to our University of Utah, shall we?
Yep, go Utes.
All right. I feel like we should have an intro. We don't have an intro.
Bum, bum, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Like that?
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah, we do need one for the Utes, I think.
I think we do. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the Utes. Let's first go ahead and recap Utes versus OK State, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. What do you got on that here? Actually, I'll just go ahead and say my little line here, and then you can jump into your deep dive.
My deep dive. Why do you think I have a deep dive?
I could see your 3 paragraphs. You got at least 3 paragraphs. I got 1.
I have a lot of notes. I watched the whole game minute per minute, and then I actually watched the recap as well.
Nice.
You have to. What if you miss something?
Yeah. Okay. Well, you go ahead and run yours. It's fine.
No, you go. You got sure? This. Go with your one, and then I can key off of this things because maybe you touch on some of the stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hopefully I do.
Yeah.
Well, Utah does pull it off on the road in Stillwater. The team, this is a team that is 27-3 coming into this game at home. They just simply don't lose in Stillwater.
Yeah, they're a lot like the Utes. Absolutely.
They protect their own, and the Utes came in there, and the Utes did what they got to do. They found a way to win without Cam under center. More to talk about that in a minute.
Yep.
This is again. we'll talk about it a little bit in a little bit more detail, but this was definitely a Kyle Winningham type win on the road in a place that's really hard to get a win at on the road.
Absolutely.
What do you think about your Utes down there in Stillwater?
Yeah, I mean, so I got a couple key points here. Number one, you nailed it. Isaac Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
The kid absolutely has ice in his veins.
Right.
The arena was absolutely electric. That place was loud. You could hear it on TV how loud that place was. I mean, the announcers were talking about it. You could see just it looked loud. That doesn't even make sense, but it looked loud in that place. The weather was absolutely scalding. It's hot. I mean, recorded, they showed it pre-show, 146 degrees down on the field.
Oh my gosh. That's rough.
Everything stacked against him. This kid is a true freshman quarterback.
Yeah. 18-year-old kid signed in April.
And he leads the number 12 team to a road win in one of the toughest places to play in the Big 12 Conference.
It's insane, man.
He did it with poise, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked good. Did he make some mistakes? Absolutely. The best part is you have a defense behind you that was just hammering the offense. And I got a little bit more on the defense, but I want to switch over and stay on offense for a second because Mekhi Bernard, absolutely, undoubtedly, no questions asked, running back number 1 for the University of Utah.
Absolutely. That was one of the things we talked about preseason. We came into fall camp. We talked about that. We don't really have a true one coming out of the running back room, but definitely.
Yeah. I mean, he leads the Big 12 in rushing currently, which just after that game, I think, he had 180 yards in the one game, which always very helpful for your statistics.
Is that good? Yeah.
And he is top 5 in the country right now in rushing yards. So I think you just got to be ready for more, though. I mean, realistically, they were running the football knowing. I saw a really cool statistic. Oklahoma State typically rushes on 25.7% of possessions.
Mm-hmm.
Against Utah, they were rushing on 67% of possessions. 3 times as much as they normally do.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They knew Isaac Wilson was under center. They were doing every single thing that they could to just make sure that he was pressured, and the Utes took full advantage of it. Mekhi Bernard was an absolute beast. The fact is when Cam Rising comes back, what are you going to do? You can't play the rush because Cam can make every single throw on the field. You think Isaac's good, and he is great. Cam can make every single throw. So now you've got pick your poison. You know what I mean? You're not dropping everybody into coverage, because if so, all they're going to do is hand it off to Mekhi, and he's going to just absolutely shred you the whole game. He's that guy. So I think we got a lot more to see from Mekhi Bernard. I'm looking forward to it. He had such a great game, and I just think there's a lot more to come.
Oh, for sure. We have a comment here from what is that?
PNW Ute.
PNW
yeah,
Ute.
Pacific Northwest Ute. Absolutely.
There you go. Wilson has ice in his veins.
Yeah. Ice. I-S-E.
I-S-E
Yeah.
in the veins. I love it.
Yep.
No water was still in the heat. In that heat. I like it.
It might have been boiling water.
There you go.
Nothing's still there.
A little bit of vapor, a little bit of evaporation for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love it. Keep the comments coming, man.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
So my last comment is the Utah defense was just lights out. And everyone's going to say, the fourth quarter, we fell apart.
Yeah, but
the Utes went into prevent defense. That's all there is to it. It was by design. You move into a prevent defense to actually allow them to catch balls and keep everybody in front of you, and it allows you to burn the clock down.
Yeah.
You want the game to be over at some point.
Yeah, this is Witt's game plan from day one. Now, did they get a little closer than they wanted to? Probably.
Yeah, absolutely. It didn't need to be nearly as dramatic. They definitely didn't plan on giving up big chunk yardage like they did, and we missed a couple coverages and stuff. It happens when you move into prevent, and especially when these guys have been running what they were running so effectively.
Yeah.
You didn't expect Bowman, who I was not as impressed with as I thought it was going to be for being a seventh-year quarterback.
Yeah.
The dude missed a lot of throws. And
I wasn't impressed, man.
It was due to the Utah defense. It's not like he's just that bad of a quarterback.
No.
The fact was his throws were off target because he was constantly forced to move. He is not an off-platform throwing quarterback. He needs his feet set
in the pocket.
Exactly. In the pocket, throw the ball in the field. He's not leaving the pocket. There's no run threat there. So the Utes did exactly what they needed to do to make it a dominant defensive performance. They took care of business, and now we're back home against a tough Arizona team.
Before we get into that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to point out that if you turn that game on in the fourth quarter, and you're like, oh, hey, check it out, the Utes are pulling away a tough drag out game.
Yeah.
Not the case.
It's not actually what it was. And
no, which is really interesting if you realize that Utes were basically control the whole game. It's just towards the end, you're just like, oh, what's going on?
What's really funny is I watched probably 5 or 6 YouTubers recap that game.
And
all of them act like, oh, they gritted it out. And it's like, you didn't even watch it.
No, they didn't watch it.
Didn't even see the game.
They didn't watch the full highlights either. They looked at maybe looked at the box. No, they couldn't look at the box score because that still would have showed. They
didn't even watch it.
It is quite interesting when a team actually never mind. I won't get into that. We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think it was a great win, especially when we don't see Cam under center, which I definitely want to talk about here a little bit. But let's go ahead and talk about the team that's coming in. Let's move on to this Saturday, which is the Arizona coming into Rice Eccles.
Absolutely. Yeah, for the blackout game.
Yeah, blackout game Saturday. So if you're going to the game, make sure you blake out.
This guy will be there.
Yeah. Didn't get the invite, but whatever.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just how it is. It's cool.
I don't know where I'm going to be sitting. I might be standing room only. I don't know.
That's
the
cool.
problem is as the Utes play more, my seats probably get worse and worse. So
seats plural, which means he has an extra one.
I do. I also have a really cute girlfriend.
Just not coming to your boy. Hey, I took you to a Jazz game.
Do you want me to just say I have a really cute co-host, Darren? Is that what you're trying to get me to say?
I'm just saying. I burned my Jazz Plus ticket on you, and then you chose to take your girlfriend anyway. But that's okay.
It's fine.
I don't judge you for it.
I'll take you to a game this year. Don't worry.
Anyway, so the Arizona is coming in 2-1 with wins over New Mexico and Northern Arizona. Also a big loss against Kansas State. Arizona's offense.
Big loss.
Yeah. Arizona's offense struggled against K-State. Noah Fida struggled against their defense, going 26 of 42 passing for a total of 268 yards. So with Arizona coming into Rice Eccles, Utes will probably be, that's really funny because I put in my notes here that Utes will be out for revenge because that team did get the better of them last year. However, if you listen to the Kyle Whittingham show on ESPN 700, he said that it's less about revenge and more about overcoming how badly we played that game.
Right.
He said that was our worst showing of the season last year was against Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
So it's more about correcting those mistakes than it is about a revenge game. Yeah. So what do you have on the Arizona coming into the Rice?
Yeah. I mean, the first question is will Cam be back? And my response is who cares?
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in a minute. I definitely want to talk about Cam, but
okay. So let me break down some basic statistics here. So currently the University of Arizona has the 72nd ranked defense, allowing 347 yards per game. They have the 97th ranked rush defense, allowing 172 yards per game. That is a very interesting statistic, knowing what our rush offense currently looks like.
Mm-hmm.
They are 40th in passing yards allowed, which is actually not bad. And their offense is currently ranked 40th, gaining 437 yards per game.
Okay.
Utah currently has the 19th ranked defense in the country, allowing 260 yards per game. That number should be much lower than it is because we gave up 100 yards in the last quarter of the last game.
Right.
So you bring that down into our averages, and we're actually probably.
Do you want to take that out though? Because that's kind of the game plan for the Utes on defense.
It is, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is, when you move into a prevent defense, if they keep that actual push defense on the whole game, we easily keep those guys under 200 yards in that game, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah, no, I agree.
So I think Utah is much better than their current ranking at 19th. I think they're probably a little closer to a top 15 defense in the country. Their rush defense is ranked at 22nd, allowing 93.8 yards per game. They're 34th in passing yards allowed. They allow 167 yards a game currently, and their offense is currently ranked 44th. So with Arizona currently ranked 2-1, their wins over New Mexico and Northern Arizona. New Mexico is a Mountain West team. They're a good program. They did score 61 points on New Mexico.
Hang on a second. Is that New Mexico State?
No, it's just New Mexico.
Sorry, New Mexico. No shot at the Pac-12 for you.
Yeah, you're out.
Sorry.
So New Mexico, and they did score 61 points on New Mexico. New Mexico is currently ranked 130th in defense. Okay. So When Arizona faced Kansas State's 36th ranked defense, they could only manage 7 points in that game.
Yeah. So basically, for those people who aren't mathing right, 36 defense. Utah's what? You said top 15?
They're 19th currently ranked.
Yeah, but you say top 15.
I say top 15.
Yeah. Let's just say top 19.
Top 19, top 20.
Almost double.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's almost that many teams in between the two.
Yeah.
Between us and Kansas State. Okay. So I want to make that clarification.
Yeah, and they managed a solid 7 points in that game. And Kansas State shut down the passing offense.
Yeah.
So that game was on the road. And it's always tough to play games on the road. But they had a bye week, and now they're on the road again at Utah. And Utah is, I mean, in my opinion, the toughest place to play in the Big 12 Conference. So Noah Fafita he's a fantastic quarterback, right? The kid's an outstanding talent. He's got paired up. He's got Teodoro McMillan, and I'm sure I butchered his name. I think it's probably close. Tatoria McMillan. Yeah. I mean, but those two are a match made in heaven. You know what I mean? Because Fafita's a great quarterback. He can throw the ball down the field really well. He is great off platform, which off-platform quarterbacks usually do a pretty good job at really getting, Utah defenses struggle with them because your whole goal is to get them out of the pocket and make them do stuff. You saw it in the Oklahoma State game. I mean, we pushed him out of the pocket, made him throw off platform, and he struggled.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I fear that Arizona is going to struggle getting anything going against this Utah defense. They're not just going to be able to throw the ball down the field. They don't have a huge rushing attack. And typically one-sided offenses or against Utah, you're going to struggle, right? We don't need to load the box up to stop you on the rush. We can drop more guys into coverage, put a safety over top. I don't know. I'm a Utah fan, but I think anybody would say Utah is probably going to win this one by 10 or more.
Yeah, so I would look for the Utes to take early control in this one on both sides of the game.
Yep.
Not sure if Cam is starting, and I'll get into why a little bit later, but I'm not sure to your point, I'm not sure it matters. I think Utah is just a deeper team across the board. The depth is just, they can't compete. I think the Utes are going to win this one. I say they cover the 12.5, which at the time of my taking my notes, which was earlier this afternoon, it was at 12.5. I say the Utes win 35 to 13.
Oh, I like that. I didn't actually put it down, but I would say you're probably, I'm going to say 35-10.
Yeah, I say they get to 13 just simply because I think they're going to put up a little bit more offense. I'm thinking they're going to try a little bit harder to put more points on the board against Utah.
Yeah.
But I think it's only going to be, Utah's only going to allow it because they're going to allow it to run the clock down a little bit more.
Yeah.
So more of that preventive defense for sure. And don't worry, McKinley, I'm going to get to that comment. That's going to lead me into something in a little bit here. So I'm going to use that. So as a segue. So don't worry about it. I'll get to that comment for sure. But yeah, I need to express a little bit of concern.
Okay, I'm ready. I love concern because I want to ease your concerns, Darren.
Okay. This is a little bit of deja vu for me.
Okay.
I followed the Utes pretty closely last year, probably the first time in about 10 years, really paying attention to this team.
Yeah.
The ins and the outs, listening to every press conference that Witt does, listening to every press conference that players are doing. And I got to say, this is a lot like last year.
Yeah.
And I got to say, the Utes are, were able to rattle off, what, a 5-0 start last year?
3-0. They lost their next one.
3-0 last year?
Yeah, they went 3-0 and then they lost to Oregon State.
Oh, that's right. They lost to Oregon State. That's true.
Yep.
So, yeah, they were very similar, 3-0, right? Going into that. And they also, that was without Cam. I don't think they're going to be able to pull that off against this Big 12 conference.
I would say that typically, but the Utes have one of the softer Big 12 conferences. All their tough games, they're at home.
They do. However, I don't see, if they don't have Cam under center, I think they're less likely to win a Big 12 championship. I don't say that they can't, but in my opinion, they're no longer the favorite if Cam's not playing. And
I thought that up until last week. I thought that up until we went to Stillwater with a true freshman quarterback that you put some of our guys from last year in that same situation, and we lose that game by 3 or more touchdowns.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Isaac is far exceeded expectations so far this season. Far exceeded. This guy, like I mentioned, was signed in April, 18-year-old kid, was playing high school football, within the last 12 months.
To start the year.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a kid that's just, and again, this team is definitely going to be wanting to take down Arizona after last year. The thing that I'm waiting for is the thing that I'm talking about here is this sounds a whole lot like last year, where I know, and it's a little different there. He had an injury on the knee and we found out how bad it was. Last year was very much like, hey, come to Utah, come back, make your NIL money, we'll, straighten out until we can basically tell them you're not playing, help be on the sidelines to help intimidate the rest of the power, Pac-12 conference. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Last year. We know that this year isn't the same. We actually watched the injury. We know what it is.
Yeah.
This came down to 20 minutes before game time. They decided Cam's not starting. We're putting in Zach and
not Zach.
Sorry, Isaac.
Wow.
Isaac.
You know who Zach played for, right?
Yeah, that's not going to work. You're so going to clip that in this video, aren't you? Oh my gosh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anyway, so Isaac's done great. And so they called the game and they said, Cam's a scratch. Isaac's starting 20 minutes before the game. And of course he balled out, right? I'm not saying that he didn't, but if you look towards the end of the schedule, this is a team that's not going to, this is the rest of the schedule is not a cakewalk. Their last three games, you got UFC, UCF, towards the end of this, and I think that's a gotcha game.
And that's an at UCF game too. That's to end the season. That's a tough one.
That's the gotcha game I'm looking at on the schedule that really kind of separates it. Now, can they go undefeated all the way till then? Probably not. But that's my point. Is that I don't think if the Utes come away with this without Cam with a 2-loss, I don't think they make it into the conference championship. So what I'm worried about is we're seeing more of the same. And I understand where Utah is coming from. I understand that until the Big 12 says, hey, you need to report on Thursday whether or not Cam's starting or not, that they're just not going to do it.
Which will never happen. Yeah.
No, it will. I guarantee you it will.
The betting lines, dude. There's too much money in the betting.
That's my point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though.
Do you know how many people lost money? Not reporting your starting quarterback, 20 minutes before the game. Do you know how upset that makes the sports books in Vegas?
Utah still covered.
You're missing the point. You're missing the point. You got college football, Major League Baseball, you got NHL, NFL. They are all in bed with these major sports books.
Right.
And I guarantee you, at least probably after next conference realignment, they're going to have to make a decision. These sports books are going to say, hey, you can't do what you just did.
You know my opinion though, because I watched a few of these. At some point in between the last game and when it started, the line flipped from Utah to Oklahoma State, somewhere in the middle. And every single one of all of the shows that I watched said Cam's not going to start. At that point, as soon as they flipped it, they knew. So there's something in there that says Cam's not actually. Yeah, they say it was a game time decision, but at some point, somebody in there knew that Cam may not be starting.
Okay, so
because the line is flipping.
See, what I think that is, I think that's the sports book overcorrecting and realizing off of trends from last year to this year, realizing, okay, throughout practice, who's taking the first snaps.
Absolutely.
So I don't know, man. I just think that there will be a time, and it may take all the way to conference realignment to happen, but there will be a time where the conference will say you have to report who your starting quarterback is by Thursday. And until then, I understand why Witt doesn't do it, but to me, this feels way too far like last year. And like you said, I don't care about Arizona. I don't care who the quarterback is under center against Arizona. I think the Utes are going to do exactly what K-State did to them and just run the ball. And they just have a stronger offensive defensive line. They're just going to run right through them. But when we get to the latter half of the year, if Cam's not under center, man, I don't like the lookout for these Utes, and I don't like the way that it's seeming very similar to last season.
I am just overly optimistic.
Yeah, well, you kind of have to be.
I am though, because I think we're in the right direction with Isaac. I think you have way more talent around Isaac than you had around both of our quarterbacks last year.
Very true.
Dorian Singer is an absolute stud. Some of the catches that he made, Money Parks is playing out of his mind. These guys are putting. Isaac's not making some of these throws are behind people. Some of these throws aren't. And we've got receivers that are actually making him look good.
How about the helmet catch, man?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like you got all these catches that are just, we didn't have that last year. You're throwing it to guys that if it wasn't hitting them in the numbers, they weren't catching it. You've got a ton more receiving talent and it's helping Isaac gain a little bit of confidence and move forward. I think I think Utah can still win the conference, even if Cam doesn't come back. And that's exactly my point. Will Cam be back? I don't think it matters, especially for this game.
Okay.
Right?
I let me preference. I do think he will be back. I don't think
absolutely.
he's back against Arizona though.
I think if Cam's ready, I think he plays, especially because Utah wants to stomp Arizona for what they did to him last year.
Yeah. See, I think Cam, I think what's actually being honest there, I think they don't care about revenge. I think they care about how they played. And I think they know they're a better team this year and they're going to play better either way. But no, but yeah, to my point there, I'm not saying that I don't like the Utes' chances without Cam. I just wouldn't favor them in the conference anymore if Cam's under center throughout the rest of the year.
Right.
Yeah, this is a true freshman quarterback under center.
I still favor him.
You know,
we're through the toughest part of our schedule. Oklahoma State was the one loss that I predicted.
Yeah, no, actually, I predicted that loss too. But I would have to say though, like I said, that's with a healthy Cam. So I just, it's good. I'm glad we have an eternal optimist and a realist.
But that's the thing is, we predicted an Oklahoma State loss with a healthy Cam.
We did.
And now you're saying you don't think they can win without a healthy Cam?
Not the rest of the season. No.
Oh, I do.
I do think they have a loss in there. I still think they have a loss in there. More than one loss. You got me thinking on that one.
I think more than one. I think the only place they lose this season is outside of Rice-Eccles Stadium.
Right. Agree.
And I think that game comes down to the only game that I think they lose is going to be at UCF.
Right.
I've seen UCF play, and they're not a better football team than the University of Utah. And that is not as hostile an environment as Stillwater is. Yeah.
There was how many trip ups last year? Oregon State, Arizona.
But we're running. I mean, at this point, though, we literally have a walk-on quarterback taking snaps.
That's true.
And then we have a true freshman 4-star that was just lost. I mean, he looked panicked in every situation we put him in. Yeah, he got us through the Baylor game. Great. That got us out to our 3-0 start. But when you put a kid into some of these situations that wasn't ready for the moment, and neither one of those kids were. Neither one of them thought they were going to be the starting quarterback to start the season.
No, I'm pretty sure Isaac Wilson at this point didn't think he was going to be a starting quarterback either, but he definitely showed up for it for sure.
But he's ready.
Yeah, we want to hear from you folks. Let us know in the comments down below.
We got some comments to go through, though. There's all kinds of them in there.
We'll get to them. We want to know what you think, folks. Let us know in the comments down below what you think about the Utah's chances against Arizona. Are you bullish like we are on Utah? Basically, just coming away with that and covering on the spread. We want to hear from you. Definitely let us know your prediction for Utah versus Arizona coming up. Now, I did want to hit on one comment here from, let's get for this one from McKinley. So McKinley says the Holy War looking better and better. This year we might have BYU and Utah undefeated, amazing matchup. So let's do that. Let's get a little, first of all, we talked about it last week, how it would change the entire narrative for BYU if they were able to get a win against.
Yes. We said those exact words on the show last week.
Yeah. How, if they got the win against Kansas State, it would change the narrative for this team for the rest of the season.
Yes.
And it definitely has. Now going into Baylor, they're actually a 2-point underdog, I believe.
BYU is
going into Baylor. Kinley, correct me if I'm wrong, or a 2-point overdog. I think they're underdog. I think they're under 2 points because I think the home team.
So they're favored by 2 then.
No,
I think BYU -2.
No, Baylor -2.
Really?
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, McKinley, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one. And what that is that there's a whole lot that was going down with that game. There's a lot of luck that happened their way.
There was some plays that happened.
However, I do think that
you still got to win a football game.
You still have to capitalize on those mistakes.
Absolutely.
And I think that BYU completely did. Let's get a little weird. And what do you think about the possibility of a undefeated Holy War in the first year that these teams are conference opponents again this year?
I mean, that sounds like what college football. That'll be a game day matchup. That ESPN game day will be here if it happens. So I'm rooting for it just because, I mean, that is legendary. I love it because as great as BYU is doing, I mean, obviously I'm a Ute fan through and through. I think Utah still owns this game. BYU hasn't faced any defenses like Utah so far. I mean, K-State's the closest one they faced, and they fared well. They got some points on the board against them.
Yeah.
But
going back to what we talk about with Arizona,
I love this.
Yeah.
Arizona might be the best team in Arizona.
Yeah. Definitely a solid point there. PNW Utes, right? That's
Pacific Northwest Ute. He comments on our stuff all the time.
Okay,
absolutely.
Gotcha. Thanks for joining the live show, by the way.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Let's see here. McKinley also pointed out the punt return was crazy. Also almost had a heart attack. He almost pulled
A Kalen Clay. Yeah.
Kalen Clay.
He sure did.
3-4 yards.
Yeah. You know the Kalen Clay play, right?
No, what am I missing there?
The infamous one when Utah's at Oregon. Kalen Clay catches it, goes down and drops the ball before he gets in the end zone.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
It would have put Utah up 7 and they returned it and scored it. It was a 14-point swing. Utah loses that game at Autzen.
I just remember the player. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That is a great point though, because he almost did.
Yeah.
It was they actually reviewed it, I think.
Did they?
Yeah, I think they actually even reviewed it.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Jonathan, we got some more stuff from you there that we just don't understand what's going on there, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for joining though. Thank you. We also got another comment here from McKinley. Let's see. Beefy 5-layer burrito. If you know, you know.
Do you know?
I don't know. Like me a Taco Bell is pretty good. You're jacked up. It works out well.
I love this comment, McKinley, because I do know.
Okay.
So there was a guy that posted on I think it was in Bleacher Report or one of those things in the Kansas State BYU matchup. And he said, if BYU beats Kansas State, I will shove a beefy 5-layer burrito in my you-know-what.
Oh, no kidding.
And then it's even better because he goes on to post another clip of him getting a beefy 5-layer burrito, putting it in the freezer, closing it, and then the video ends like, oh, I love it. I don't know.
You got to freeze that, right? You can't just...
You don't try it not frozen for sure. That's just going to be messy. We don't go there.
That's great, man. That's great.
So I do know. Thank you, McKinley.
Yeah. Baylor is favored. So thank you very much for chiming in on that. Yeah. So
that blows me away.
See, that's just that's the reason why the Utes are favored to win the conference is because Kyle Whittingham has that what's the word I'm looking for? Benefit of a doubt.
Yeah,
right.
In every single game.
BYU goes
4-0.
Crazy. 4-0. Crazy against K-State at home.
That game is at Baylor though.
Yes. It's on the road, so it's usually +3 towards the home team usually.
Yeah.
Sorry, -3 towards the home team on that usually, typically. So it's going to be a tight game either way, but that's kind of what they're thinking. They're like, okay, the odds of all the things bouncing the BYU's favor, probably not likely going to happen. However, you take those 2 fluky touchdowns, they still won by double digits.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. I don't know. I think that's probably a good one to, if I'm a betting man, which I'm not, I'll put some Skittles on that.
I think BYU absolutely just deflated Kansas State by jumping out like they did. I think they just took every single bit of air out of their lungs. There was nothing they could do to get back in the game. Avery Johnson looked terrible.
Yeah.
And they just literally, and that crowd at BYU was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it? That place was absolutely rocking.
No, I didn't catch any of that.
I'm sure they had Utah Jazz players there. I mean,
that part I did catch. I did really get to see. That was actually pretty cool to see those guys. It
was awesome. I mean, that BYU crowd showed up. They needed to. BYU needed all the support they could get. That's a tough game. That's a tough conference game, and I mean, they took it to them. I mean, you got to give them props. They took down. I mean, that's a great That's a great win for BYU.
Yeah, I do see that. I do see BYU coming out with a win at Baylor. I don't think that this is.
I don't know. I don't understand how.
Watch that line to change, by the way.
Yeah, probably. I don't understand how Baylor would be favored in that game.
We watched them here at Rice Eccles, and
they were very underwhelming.
Yeah,
they just went toe to toe with Colorado, who's also underwhelming. Colorado's played one good team, and it was Nebraska, and they got their butts kicked.
Yeah, so but hey, they're getting eyeballs on their team, so whatever reason that's important.
Hey, we're here to get clicks.
Yeah, but I absolutely love it, man. I think that'd be great. I think I don't know if BYU gets there. Sorry, no offense, McKinley, but I don't know if BYU gets 8-0 going into that.
That's a tough ask, but
yeah, I know they have
honestly,
schedule.
even if they just lose one, you know what I mean, and going in, and if they're still a ranked team coming into Rice Eccles, that makes for great football.
It does.
So
yeah, it does. Absolutely looking forward to it. It's probably going to be the first time that the Holy War actually means something in a long time. So I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, conference plays the best.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So
yeah,
we want to hear from you folks. Let us know in the comments down below. Let us know about what you think. Do you think it's going to be an undefeated Holy War this year? We'd love to hear from you in the comments down below for sure. Let us know. All right. Do you want to pivot on over to a little bit of our Utah hockey?
Sure.
All right. Let's go ahead and you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk about your Utah Hockey Club. All right, AJ, let's go ahead and break down a little bit about, well, your Utah Hockey Club. It's official, man. We've had 2 preseason games so far.
Yeah. They were pretty exciting to watch too. I caught more. I actually turned on the first one live. And
where was that? What game? What channel was that on?
I actually paid for the SEG Plus.
Oh, okay. For the Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah,
okay.
So I get Hockey Club and the Jazz. So I get all those games.
Gotcha. Because I was running, I'm like, where is that? I couldn't find it. So I only got to watch the second one. But as far as that first game, go ahead and break it down for you against the Blues.
Yeah, and I mean, I turned it on and watching it, they didn't start all of their main guys. Like Clayton Keller didn't start. I mean, they didn't have Barrett Hayton in. Nick Schmaltz didn't play.
No, which is what we kind of expected, though. For we've got a lot of
for an out of state game. I think they were just kind of like, okay, well, let's get some guys out there, kind of see. I mean, they had Connor Ingram starting at goalie, so obviously getting him some reps, but they win that game. Yeah, so they go on. They play okay. They ended up getting, I think it's a 1-0 win in that one.
No, the Blues. Let's see, against the Blues, it was 3-5.
Oh, that's right. There was all kinds of goals scored in that one.
Yeah, that game didn't start off great for your Utah Hockey Club. They went down 2-0 with one of those goals being an open net goal, leaving it completely unprotected.
Oops.
Yeah, whole lots of replays I got to see on that one. Yeah. That's great. Like, oh, look at this Utah Hockey Club. Looks like they're back, not doing much better than theirs. But anyway, they're able to put it down there. Utah came back from behind with a win of 3-5 with goals from, I can never get this guy's last name right, Michael Carcone.
Yes.
Carcone. Our hockey guy, let me know in there for sure. If you're still listening there, Jonathan, let me know if I got that name right. Anyway, he scored two goals. We also have Kevin Connaughton. He gets a goal, as well as Logan Cooley and Dylan Gunther all got a goal in that game. So it was nice. A 5-3 win for your Utah Hockey Club, which is really cool. Really cool to see. So let's shift on over to the second preseason game, which was here.
Yep, the LA Kings
against the LA Kings. Now, did you catch the previous video like 6 months ago? We talked about the Frozen Fury. I called the LA Kings the LA Galaxy. Did you catch that?
I did see that.
Oh, that was great. Good times.
Close enough.
Not really.
Close enough.
Not really. But anyway,
so far away.
Yes, exactly. So we have Utah against the LA Kings there. That one was actually a game that went into overtime.
Yeah, this was an awesome game. I mean, Connor Ingram, in the beginning of this game, he had some great saves. I mean, he did end up giving up 2 goals in this game. Lawson Krause had a few shots early that really looked like they had a chance. They were playing, passing the puck around really, really well. It was really fun. And then when Lawson Krause actually scored that first goal, you could, just watching it, you could feel that place just erupt.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. Kerfoot ends up getting another goal to tie the game up 2-2. Obviously it does go into overtime. And then, I mean, it's shortly into overtime. I think it's only 2 or 3 minutes into overtime. Clayton Keller comes down and ends it with a quick goal.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was really interesting how much more physical play that game was. There was 2 fights breaking out on 2 consecutive face-offs. But of course, Spicy Juno's right in the middle of all that.
Boom, right in there.
He's
like,
dude.
I'm heading to the penalty box. Let's do this.
I love it. First time he gets in there, he's like, I got to get used to this space. Might as well get here quickly.
Yeah.
Keller's deciding shot was with 19 seconds into OT. So,
it was that quick. Okay. I was going to say, I knew it was fast.
Yeah, it's right in this beginning of OT there. So, yeah, it was super awesome. Again, your Utah Hockey Club, again, this is preseason, so we're tempering our expectations a little bit, but not a lot, because it's not like we're talking about the Jazz preseason. This is the inaugural season of Utah Hockey Club. This is our first time in the NHL, so we care about it. We're treating it like regular season games. Your Utah Hockey Club is 2-0 going into this Friday.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and talk about the next 2 games coming up. So these are against potential rivals, against your Golden Knights from Vegas, the Vegas Golden Knights on Friday.
Yep.
And the Avalanche on Sunday, the 29th.
Yeah.
These are going to be interesting games, man. What do you think?
No, I mean, these are definitely going to be great. And I'm hoping, I hope that we see some more of the actual starters out on the ice. You know what I mean?
Sure.
To start meshing and get some, you got to get some of that energy and some of that cohesion. A lot
especially on the defensive side.
Yeah, we do got some new guys. I mean, Mikhail Sergachev, he is new to the club, and they need to get him out on the ice and, kind of get some, what is the word I'm looking for there? Cohesion. I already said that one, but there's another word. Just some experience.
Familiarity.
Yeah, familiarity is exactly what I need. Yeah. So I mean, I look forward to it. I think we're going to have, we got a great chance at winning both these games. And honestly, the wins don't really matter. Again, it's preseason. What's important is we get these guys out on the ice and they get the chance to actually just be together as a team.
Until the puck drops on the regular season, I would strongly disagree. I want every win that I possibly can get as a Utah Hockey Club fan.
Yeah.
I'm learning this sport as you guys obviously realize, we are learning this sport as we go along, and I'm super enjoying every minute of it. We talked about last week how this team could easily be the team that gets a win before your Utah Jazz
win a championship. Yeah. Check out that video.
Definitely check it out. We'll put it somewhere here.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about this team, man. I think it's going to be super awesome. And it's a great team. It's going to be competing for a playoff spot right out of the gates. And that's just a much funner way to learn a sport when you're watching a team that's actually somewhat competitive. So
yeah,
I'm actually looking forward to these two games against the Golden Knights and against the Avalanche, because I think these are going to be somewhat of rivals. They're both relatively close geographically.
And they were geographically close to Phoenix as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how much that you have to let us know in the comments down below. Hockey fans, Phoenix fans, if you watch this channel, appreciate it. Thanks for joining. Let us know what you think as far as that goes. Who was the rivals on that one? Because we'd love to hear from you on that. Anyway, super excited about your Utah Hockey Club. We really look forward to the rest of the preseason. There's 2 or 3 games left?
Yep.
2 or 3?
Yep.
Before the puck drops on the regular season?
No, we've got a few more. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left.
Okay, 5 games left.
Yep, 5 games left.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we look forward to it. We'll continue breaking those down as they come in. We'll probably do in batches because it looks like there's 2 games before we.
2 games. So next week we should be able to talk about Vegas and Colorado.
Yeah.
And then the 10-1.
Maybe not.
Will be. I think 10-1's actually. I think that one's actually the night we record.
Okay, so we'll basically try to recap that one on the fly. So we'll see how that goes.
2, yeah.
We'll definitely see how that one goes. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you folks. Let us know in the comments down below. If you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, we did just launch a channel for Utah Hockey. This is Utah Hockey DNA. It's a channel specifically for your Utah Hockey Club. By the way, we really appreciate that channel. Just hit 2,000 subscribers.
200 subscribers. 2,000 would be very impressive, but I'm a little 200 we're also excited about.
Yes. The channel did just hit 200 subscribers. I believe we're just over that with 203 right now. Absolutely appreciate how that channel is growing so fast. So if you are watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, be sure you jump over to Utah Hockey DNA, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We'll be giving away one of those sweet new Utah Hockey Club sweaters.
First edition.
Again, unlimited edition.
Yeah.
Halfway through the year, we might find out what the team name is going to be next year. So we'll find out. That'll definitely be limited. So
going to be awesome. Make sure you tune in.
Absolutely. If you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, that channel will be linked down below. All right. So why don't we go ahead and pivot on over to a little bit of Utah Jazz, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's break down your Utah Jazz. All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your Utah Jazz. Let's start off by a new trade rumor. Have you heard this latest trade rumor around the Utah Jazz?
I have not.
Okay, so this one came out earlier today from a channel that we actually both follow a little bit, which is AM Hoops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Check him out. We'll link his channel down below. Hopefully, if we can be bothered to remember to do it. But he has said that the Lakers are rumored to have eyes on Walker Kessler.
I love that. That doesn't hurt my soul at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think about that as far as that goes? Like you said, it doesn't hurt your soul, but as far as the trade, what would you like to see back for Walker Kessler from the Lakers?
I think you have to go someone that's a young, unproven talent, a lot like Walker Kessler. I think the only player that probably fits that bill is like a Rui Hachimura. I don't think they give up Austin Reeves.
No.
I mean, I can honestly say I'm not super sure on the depth of the Lakers bench and who else they could really move off of there.
Kaminga will be a free agent after next year, and I think he wants a max contract. So
Kaminga's with the Warriors, though.
I'm sorry, that was Kaminga. I'm sorry, that was the Warriors. I was thinking ahead. Let's scrap that. I just want to focus on the Laker trade rumor. Sorry, that was in my notes for later.
Okay.
But anyway, so yes, when it comes to that, Walker Kessler is rumored to have interest from the Lakers. And we know Danny Ainge and how that works. When it comes to that, you think it's Hachimura that they're probably going to get?
Yeah, I would say Hachimura is probably the one player that you could, young, relatively inexperienced, high upside, kind of like a Walker Kessler kind of You
So
know
do
what
you
I
think
mean?
it's gonna be like a 1-for-1, or do you think that I think Danny Ainge is gonna want the player and a pick?
Danny Ainge is going to win the trade because he's not going to move Walker Kessler if he doesn't.
I think he's gonna go for a player and their 2029 pick.
Okay.
And stuff. So the only untouchables on that team is going to be AD, LeBron, and obviously Bronny. Those are the only 3 players.
I want Bronny.
Untouchable players on
That's
that
who we're
team.
getting. We want Bronny.
I don't. I'd prefer literally anybody else. But
Literally anybody.
he's not an MVP.
We would prefer the janitor over Bronny.
I don't know. Just did good work. I don't know. But yeah, when it comes
How tall
to
is he?
yeah, I think the Olympics proved that that Anthony Davis plays well with more of a traditional big on the floor.
He does.
So I definitely think that that's something that that the Lakers need to consider. But honestly, I think what they're going to do is they're going to do something crazy. They're going to sign Zach LaVine or Brandon Ingram or somebody like that. That's just going to make a mess of it. I don't think that the Lakers are going to make the smart trade on this one, which would be a Walker Kessler trade.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't see. I mean, them having interest is one thing. I don't know how he fits on that team, to be completely honest with you.
It is a kind of a buy-in now type trade. They would have to trade because they have to realize, okay, this is the piece we need. And it won't be flash enough for the press conference. It won't be good for the GM, but it will be the right move to make. And I don't think they give up more than one player plus their 2029 pick. And I don't think that Danny Ainge is going to settle for that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Before we get into that, let's go ahead and hit some of these comments there. When it comes to that, I do want to get to some of them from the BYU side. So we're probably going to have to backtrack here a little bit. I do want to make sure that we get those. When it comes to that, it says here that BYU's offense looks okay, but like Utah, our defense looks amazing. Absolutely. BYU's defense is definitely what kept them in a lot of these games, and I didn't expect them to win. So for sure. Very sure. It's very similar, like their quarterback play isn't really necessary, the deciding factor for that team. So you love to see it. BYU's defense still hasn't given up a passing touchdown.
That's an impressive stat. I did not know that.
I did not know that. That's actually very impressive. Nice. Good to know. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So it comes to that also, you also have from McKinley. It's just hopefully thinking I don't actually think BYU will go undefeated. Hey, keep the hope alive, man. I love that. I think it would be better when both players, both teams in Utah are conference, are going to be, conference hopefuls for sure. When it comes to that, also, McKinley also added on there, as long as they don't score many goals. Oh, this is for the Utah Hockey Club. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the Utah Hockey Club, as long as they don't score too many goals in the wrong net.
I think they're going to be good. Yeah. Definitely a great place to start.
Definitely a great place to start. Whoever makes that hockey video, make sure we got to stitch that back into that one, because that's a great comment there for sure. Let's see here. Work, job, DNA, sports recap. I like that.
We're doing it. We're working our job.
Yeah, I like that. So work, job, then DNA, sports recap.
PNW said Walker Kessler, Texas Lakers.
Walker Kessler, Texas Laker. Oh, that's great. That's great. I absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's good. PNW, that's a good one. I gotta remember that. The PNW, I gotta remember that. That was tough for me to get out of the old noodle there for sure. But yeah, I absolutely love it. That's great, man. So let's see here. When it comes to that, we also have a comment from McKinley.
Back on the Jazz.
Back on the Jazz. Sorry, because PNW Utes also mentioned a comment of the Jazz there. Let's see here. I just don't see anyone paying the price Danny would want for Walker. He is hard to trade because he isn't hard to trade.
It says he is hard to trade because he only makes like $3 million a year, and I just don't think the Jazz are desperate to trade Walker.
I don't think Walker actually fits in with their offensive scheme right now. I don't think that
I'm not sure if we know what the offensive scheme is some of the problem, though.
I think that's very true. I think we don't really know what Utah's really thinking of what they're going to be doing going forward right now. This season. So that's a good point. Yeah, he only makes $3 million, but there's definitely another center on this team that I'm pretty sure, or power forward, I'm pretty sure the Jazz would be happy to trade to make the money work.
Yeah.
So I don't think necessarily it's the money that's gonna be holding that up. We definitely have some players on contract that are a little top heavy that might be able to be traded.
Yeah, but then you got to match those top heavy contracts with another top heavy contract. You know what I mean? So because you got to match dollar for dollar when you're trading. Yeah, so if we throw somebody else in there,
like Corey Hachimura, how much was he making?
I think he's on a rookie scale contract as well, though.
Okay, so
I don't believe he's past that. Yeah.
So that probably won't run into too much of an issue there. But anyway, it's an interesting trade rumor that I saw drop this morning. We'll go ahead and link that down below for sure. We also have MLB playoffs. MLB, the playoff is coming. Yep, and we're definitely going to jump on that here in just a minute, so we'll definitely get into that. But before that, now, I want to talk a little bit about the Utah Jazz as this team sits currently.
Yeah.
So do you remember when we talked about, this is something that not we talked about on the show, but this is something about that the Jazz pre and post game and everybody, Jazz Talk Radio, everybody in our market was talking about this, that once the Lakers and the Warriors and the Clippers, once they were done dominating the West, and once they've aged out and their window was closing, then that would be the time for the Jazz to make their real run.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's been the last 2 seasons.
Totally agree.
We actually got to watch, and again, this season coming up as well. While we watched the core of that playoff team of Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, and heck, even Joe Ingles, all having deep playoff runs over the last 3 seasons. The Utah Jazz were on the outside looking in, and where are they now? And as of now, we still have no idea where this team is.
Yeah. And that's really tough. I mean, that's really tough to watch all these players make really deep runs.
Yeah. And the worst part is now we have to worry about OKC,
who looks fantastic and doesn't look like they're slowing down anytime soon.
Timberwolves look great. They'll probably only have cap for this year. He might be traded by the deadline, depending on what they do there. But yeah, I think when it comes to that, I've just realized over the last couple of weeks here that this was the Jazz's window to really make a move and become the dominant team in the West. They did were the top team in the West, had the best record in the NBA that one year.
Yeah.
But they just did not play for each other in the playoffs that year. Just kind of phoned it in, honestly. And yeah, I'm just really kind of seeing that that was where we are in the time where that team was supposed to be competing for a championship. And where we're sitting right now, we have no idea where the team is. We don't know whether or not whether they're still in the rebuilding mode or if they're starting to push the chips in the middle. It really kind of puts you in a little bit of a
like you think back to if that team was still together right now, where do we fit in this league? They are with that team, and you're again Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal just playing out of his mind defensively. You got Rudy Gobert still, you got Joe Ingles, you got Jordan Clarkson. That was such a talented basketball team, and you match them up to some of the top talent in the West right now. That's a way better basketball team with way more playoff experience. They shoot the ball way better. I mean, they're defensively much better. I mean, who's the best defensive team in the West right now?
Minnesota was probably the top defensive team in the West,
but they're not without Rudy Gobert. They're not.
No, exactly.
They were dead last.
Yeah, so it'd probably be Denver, and then it'd probably be Utah, then Denver.
Yeah,
as far as defensively in the
absolutely.
West. So yeah, man, I don't. We talk about the importance of as many Jazz games. We talked about it several weeks or the last couple of weeks. Our number one viewed video on this channel is the end of an era where we talked about how the Utah Jazz arena is never going to be the same, and you should go to as many Jazz games as you possibly can this year.
This is the year, yeah.
We also made a part 2 to that one, by the way. We'll link to that one below as well.
Make sure you check that video out. It's very good.
But, neither of those videos, we talked about actual basketball being the important thing to watch this year.
Yeah.
Neither one of those videos have anything to do with basketball. And I think as a Utah Jazz fan, that's going to be a bit concerning, man. We don't know where this team is. We don't know if they're still in the rebuilding process, which, by the way, 3 years in, do we have a team that we can be confident in that they're going to, do we even know?
I think we have a
team. Maybe we know something from there, but everybody else, we're still question marks on.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have a team that you look forward to how they develop, and if they can develop into a team that can build some cohesion and become one unit that can move the ball and create offensive possessions. You have a team that you can look forward to. Can they build a defense that is not dead last in the league like they were last year? We added some size. We added, you know what I mean? Like through the draft, we got Cody Williams, who I think can be a great piece to this team. So you have a team that has all these what ifs on it, but you don't have any, this is who we are's.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bunch of question marks.
Oh, for sure. McKinley also commented there. Most teams are rumored to want Kessler are close to the second cap makes matching salaries hard. Very true. That's very true. And that's probably why Kessler's so popular in the trade market right now, is because of his low dollar salary.
Absolutely. He's still on a rookie scale contract.
Yeah, so it's quite good there. You also mentioned here, McKinley, that's what makes winning hard in the NBA. So many things need to go right at the right time. Yeah, and one of the things is definitely keeping that locker room together, and I think that's one of the things where Quinn Snyder definitely dropped the ball. I think he did his best, but I definitely think after the COVID year that Rudy and Donovan just were no longer on the same page anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. But yeah, we want to hear from you folks. Let us know in the comments down below. What are your hopes for the Utah Jazz this season? Obviously, there's not a whole lot that we are what's the word I'm looking for? There's not a whole lot that we are optimistic about for this team as far as high hopes. We hope to see a team with a lot of development and see where these players are. Hopefully we get a lot of time with our rookie players on the court there. But we'd love to hear from you folks. Let us know in the comments down below what you're looking forward to in this year with the Utah Jazz. And also check out our previous episodes where we discuss the top 2 reasons for why you need to make sure you get to as many Jazz games as you possibly can this year.
Yep.
With that said, folks, we also did launch Utah Jazz DNA. If you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, Utah Jazz DNA is a channel that we devoted specifically for our Utah Jazz content. If you're watching this on our main channel, a link to that channel will be in the description below. If you're watching this on Utah Jazz DNA, first of all, welcome. Thank you for finding us here. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel, we'll be giving away one of those sweet new Utah Jazz black jerseys. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel.
Smash it.
Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on that giveaway. And yeah, we look forward to talking with you guys on your Utah Jazz. All right, so let's go ahead and pivot on over to a little bit of, well, before we do that, we got a comment here. Let's make sure we don't miss that. I just want to see improvement from young guys.
Oh, next one up.
Oh, sorry, skipped one there. Let's see here. Okay.
I know for most people this is a throwaway year, but personally, I'm genuinely excited to see what the young guys can do. I just want to see improvement from the young guys and a high draft pick. Hashtag
capture the flag. Love it.
Yeah.
McKinley, you were mostly there. You definitely were there when we talked about that.
Yep.
When we talked about the Jazz potential on drafting Cooper Flag, which if you have not, check out that video. It's linked down below for sure. All right, let's go ahead and pivot on over. Let's talk a little bit about Major League Baseball, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So let's go ahead and, should we talk about what should the intro be? Let's just talk baseball.
I would say intro with Ohtani because that's going to be the main one.
Okay. In Major League Baseball, did Shohei Ohtani have the greatest performance in baseball history? I really got to time that drink better.
You really do. That was terrible.
I really got to. Before we jump into Shohei Ohtani, folks, once again, we did make it to 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Thank you very much for that. As a reminder, folks, now that this channel is at 1,000 subscribers, we're giving the first $500 that we earn in AdSense revenue back to our subscribers. So if you're not yet, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, watch these videos, smash that like button. The more engagement we get, the more people see these videos, the faster that AdSense revenue goes up. As soon as we hit $500, we'll be giving all that away to 5 subscribers. 5 subscribers are each going to earn $100 each. So if you have not yet, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and smash that like button for your boy AJ right over there.
Boom. I appreciate it.
All right. So before we go ahead and talk about the greatness that is Shohei, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, well, what our concerns are heading into the postseason, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So what it would be the main concern that you have for your Atlanta Braves? Quickcrete is a great product, but
it is. Quickcrete, reach out. I'll put a patch on my sleeve right here. If you guys say,
totally, let's do it.
I'm in.
I'm in there too.
We'll put Quickcrete on our hat. You name it, we're in.
We're in.
Okay, so my Braves have a few concerns, right? That was a weird noise.
Yeah, say that one more time.
I said my Braves. We got a few concerns, right? A couple, and I think there's 3 key people that we need to continue to do what they do and step up a little bit. So the first person that I really think I need to see a little bit more from is going to be Max Fried.
Okay.
He's been pitching. He's had a good season. But I mean, he is currently rocking a 3.42 ERA, which is not bad, but the Braves offense has been so sketchy up and down. And one game we put on 12, another game we can't even manage 1 run. at a 3.42 ERA, we're going to need him to be a little bit better than that. So Max has had some great seasons with the Braves. We know what he's capable of. He is in his last year of contract under the Braves. So we want him to go out on a bang. We want to make sure that he does finish strong and, lead this team into the postseason so we can get some action that way.
That is a tease for an off-season video, which we'll talk more about later. I really look forward to that. We're definitely going to talk about that going into the off-season. Which teams are most likely to lose, which player to which team. So definitely want to look forward to that. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I do think your starting pitching is actually quite good. Having a starting pitcher, a seasoned starting pitcher, one that has been involved in the Cy Young race several times, having a 3.4 GPA. Honestly, with this year and how pitching has been, the fact that he's there and his arm is still on, I don't know, man. I like it. I understand where you're coming from there. But you guys still have a stat rotation. I think you're going to be okay.
My next player is actually the one that I just need to keep going. He just needs to keep going, and that's absolutely Chris Sale.
Oh, dude, my Cy Young MVP. My Cy Young front runner.
He is obviously the Cy Young front runner at this point. All betting odds have him taking it.
Right.
He's not only been the best starter in the National League, arguably he's been the best starter in all of baseball.
Sorry, Skeens.
Name me someone that's been better as far as he's averaging 11.4 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's only allowed 9 home runs this year, and his ERA is 2.38. Chris Sale has been absolutely dominant. If you haven't watched a Braves game, tune in just to watch Chris Sale throw 4 or 5 innings. It'll be worth every single minute of your time.
Absolutely, man. And he's really kind of rejuvenated his career with Atlanta. I mean, he had some up and down years in Boston with injury and stuff like that. So it's really great to see him. He's definitely going to be your game 1 starter for sure. And yeah, he's odds-on betting fate to win the Cy Young for sure.
Yeah, and the Braves are just getting ready to start this series with the Mets. They took one, a couple nights ago, depending on when this video goes out. Their game they had one scheduled for and they ended up getting postponed. So now they're going to do a back-to-back where Sale is the starter for the first game and Fried will be the starter for the second game. So they've got a double header with the Mets, and this series with the Mets really determines how the Braves season is going to go as far as postseason wise. That is that head-to-head matchup. You win 3, you win the tiebreaker over the Mets. You already own the tiebreaker over the Diamondbacks, so that puts the Braves pretty solely in postseason position. So the last player that I'm really concerned with moving in, it's not so much concern as just keep doing what you're doing. Matt Olson's been absolutely great. The last month he's been hitting the ball really, really well. He's come through in a lot of clutch moments. For the month of September, his OPS is 1.045. So he's been just smashing the ball, playing such great baseball. We just need to make sure that he stays consistent. We don't need him to have a high and a low. We need him to kind of level out and just keep being the player that Matt Olson always has been for this Braves team and, get us into the postseason.
Yeah, that's actually going to be the player that I was picking on is actually going to be Matt Olson. I think that while he's not had the year that he's needed to have, which he typically has with his first year in Atlanta and also his last year with the A's, I think that but he has come alive of late over the last 30 days or so, 30 games or so. He's really playing well, so he's coming into his own. He just needs to hold that and really be the anchor on the offense that the Braves really need because, like you mentioned, I think that's really what's been hurting the Braves the most lately.
It's just been brutal, yeah.
Just not being able to put up runs, and a lot of that has to do with injury. But yeah, like I said, I think that he's turning around at the right time. So he just got to keep riding that into the postseason. As it sits right now, you guys are half a game out of the wild card with the Diamondbacks being half a game, and you're playing against the Mets, who is currently a half game ahead of the Diamondbacks. You're a full game behind the Mets.
Right, but we've got 2 games with the Mets.
2 games coming up with the Mets.
That's a 2-game swing.
Yes, and so the Braves are won 3 straight. They're 6-4, and the Mets are also 6-4. They actually had a loss
to the Braves.
So yeah, you're definitely going to make up some ground there. The Diamondbacks are actually playing San Diego for the last series, and they're going to be playing for their playoff lives there. So
yeah, San Diego's been playing out of their minds too.
Yeah, let's not talk about the Padres. Oof, that's tough. Did you hear about how the Dodger game ended last night?
No.
Oh my gosh, we'll get into that when we talk about the Dodgers.
Okay.
But we've got the Braves Braves game tomorrow. Just need to play our home Phoenix, Arizona. That's right. So you guys are playing the Arizona Diamondbacks. Appreciate the comment there, Jonathan. The Braves do need to get those wins, man, for sure.
Absolutely.
Against Arizona, for sure. Not against Arizona, but they need to get those wins up on Arizona. Absolutely. All right. So, but I definitely think. Do you think that Atlanta pulls it out?
I do. I think they've been playing with like a renewed sense of focus these last couple games. The hitters have been stepping in the box with just kind of a different mentality. You can see the team's locked in. I think they have a great chance. I think they do it, man. I think they got just enough in the tank to get into the postseason, and obviously your season kind of starts over, right? It's just one game at a time from that point. So
what's really rough is that after that they play the Royals to end the season, and they're a playoff. They're currently in their Kansas City Royals are actually holding on to a 2-game lead in the wild card as well, so they're playing for their postseason life as well.
The most important thing is winning the series versus the Mets, because then you hold the tiebreaker over them. Yeah. So it just gives you a little bit. Yeah, I mean, to own the tiebreaker over both teams, yeah, you still got to win. But if you end up with the same records, at least you're in.
According to this, that's the next game, which is the 27th. So they have an off night tomorrow night, and then they play.
Then they have a double. No, they have a doubleheader with the Mets.
According to MLB.com, the next game is against Kansas City Royals. The doubleheader today. Oh no, you're right. It's because it was because of the hurricane.
It was rained out, and I think it's rained out tomorrow. I think they're actually moving all their games back.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I saw.
They're not going to put it on Monday. They never do that.
Yeah, I got a notification though, because I think the doubleheader will be Sunday.
Yeah, I think that benefits.
Sorry, today's only Wednesday.
Yeah,
maybe the doubleheader's Friday.
Yeah, I think that benefits the Braves though.
Oh, it does,
because that allows you to rest your.
We needed Fried and Sale both need the rest because they were both on short stints because we're down a starting pitcher with Iglesias out.
Yeah, well. Pivoting on over to the Dodgers, though, what they need. And again, I thought we were going to be talking about offense. I figured you were going to be all in on the offense, but you did mention pitching. That's where the Dodgers are. We need to talk about what's the concerns for the Dodgers, and that is going to be starting pitching. You want to know what our predicted starting rotation is for the playoffs?
Let me guess. Is that 4 guys I've never heard of?
No. 2 of them you definitely heard of.
Okay.
Jack Flaherty is our main guy. We got the trade deadline. He was supposed to be the back end 3 or 4 star. They're supposed to be solid.
Yeah. He's your 4th solid guy.
He is now our ace for the team. And then you have Yoshinobu Yamamoto,
who's been playing great.
He's coming off injury, so he's only really.
But he had a great game, didn't he?
He did not have a good last game.
But he had one right off injury. He had a good one.
2 out of the 3 starts he's had pretty good.
Okay.
But did not look great against the Rockies there.
Okay.
And then you have a bunch of question marks. Landon Knack.
He played terrible against the Braves.
Yeah,
the Braves smashed him. Yeah.
He did play well against the Padres, only gave up 4 runs, which not necessarily his fault against the Padres. I think that's more of there were some issues in defense there. But again, Landon Knack, you get through 6 innings of Landon Knack, he only gives up 4 runs.
It's a win, especially when you got Dodgers offense.
Yeah, and he's not supposed to be a major league starter right now.
Right.
That's not why
he's not technically ready. They just needed to pull somebody up.
Yeah. So he was not ready. And then everything in the rest is a bunch of question marks. You got Walker Buehler. He's still trying to find his way back from, his second Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
Not being able to blow by pitchers anymore. No longer,
you got to rely on control and off speed. And
yeah, he's had some shaky outings, but he says he's figured it out and he has seen some improvements. But come on, man, a 2 TJ arm. And he doesn't really have that stuff anymore. He's going to have to try to figure out what kind of pitcher he is in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's sketchy, right?
Yeah. It's not where you want to be.
No. And the other option, Clayton Kershaw, if healthy.
Is he going to be back?
He apparently is going to be back. Now, apparently he had a bone spur in his big toe, which is the main issue. However, Dave said it's been there for a few years. And if that's the case, why didn't they fix that when they fixed his shoulder? I really kind of seems like Dave just kind of gave him a pass on that and basically just said, because his stuff was just definitely wasn't there. Like he is right now, his fastball's topping out at 90, 89, somewhere in that range. And he still has the best slider in the game. But if he's not locating it, that's a problem. He still has Uncle Charlie. He's got to really rely on the curveball and the slider being pinpoint accuracy. If he doesn't have that fastball is going to get rocked. So
yeah, I mean the problem is you get behind any of those counts, like you said, you lose any accuracy with your curveball and your slider. You get behind an account and you got to throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball over the plate anywhere. See ya.
Yeah, And
that's brutal, man.
It's got to be edges. It's got to be edges, and it's got to be pinpoint. And I just don't know if you have.
If 90 is your fastball, I think you almost take that out of your repertoire unless you know what I mean. Unless
he doesn't have a changeup.
But unless you're just trying to throw something out of the strike zone, you know what I mean? Like to get somebody to chase something, because if you throw that anywhere near the plate, that's literally batting practice.
Yeah. Slider on the outside to lefties, fastball that looks like it's a slider that is down the center, and they miss.
Does he have like a four seam with a little bit of movement on it or anything?
Not anymore. Not really. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'll be interested to see how that turns out.
And they're going to give him a shot. It's Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah. I mean, you
have Hall of Famer. You got to give it to him.
And you need to, right? Because you need pitching.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and get a comment there from a friend of the channel, Tammy Price.
Friend of the channel, Tammy Price.
Wish Shohei was able to pitch. Actually, we're going to talk about that when we talk about Shohei, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, so when it comes to that, man, I just think with Kershaw's diminishing stuff, with him, basically, I don't know what we have with him, and Walker Buehler being very much an if, and Landon Knack, we don't know how he's going to perform in the postseason. You know,
it's a lot of pressure on a young pitcher.
A lot of pressure on a rookie who wasn't even supposed to be with the team at this point. No. So I don't know, man. Starting rotation looks very, very sketchy. If either one of those pitchers, Jack Flaherty or Yamamoto, falter and aren't that frontline ace that they need to be, Dodgers are in trouble, man. That's what my concern.
Especially in a 5-game series to start.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like in a 5-game series, if you've only got 2 guys that can get you wins,
and you have a bad start from one of them. And the other part is Yamamoto. He only pitches once a week. He's a Japanese pitcher. They only pitch once a week, once every 5 games.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can bring him in for game 3 on short rest or game 4 on short rest.
He's like, that's not happening.
You have Yamamoto pitch, and honestly, they're probably going to have Flaherty pitch first just in case they need to bring him back on short rest and pitch on the road on game 3.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have Yamamoto till he's going to pitch once in a 5-game series.
Correct.
So you only have really one starter that's going to go 2, and you're basically hoping that works out. So yeah, that's my main concern. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know in the comments down below what you think is, your team going into the playoffs. What's your main concern that you have for that team? We really want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments down below. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, before we move on to that, dude. Oh my gosh. The Dodgers had a 4-2 loss against the Padres last night, and they had 2 on, no outs going into the bottom of the 9th, right?
Everything you asked for.
You have Mookie Betts. Not Mookie Betts. You have Shohei Ohtani on deck, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman to follow.
Yeah.
You have the guy who's been great the last half of the season, Miguel Rojas.
Is this against the Padres?
This is against the Padres last night.
I saw this.
So
runners, it's all over Sports Center.
Runners are first and second. Yeah, we're never going to leave these highlights down. The Dodgers better pull out the division, man, or this one never goes away. So on a ground ball, for some reason he didn't bunt. For some reason. He did not bunt.
He decides to smoke a ball down the third base line.
Down the third base line, right at Machado. And of course, it has to be Manny freaking Machado. And they turn a triple play to end the game. You had Shohei Ohtani.
It was one of the best plays I've ever seen.
You had Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts
right
behind you.
Move the runners.
Yeah, what are you doing swinging at that pitch, man? Why are you? I don't care if you bunt on strike 2, man. Strike out. I don't care. That was literally like
do anything other than swing at a crappy outside pitch and hit it down the third baseline right at Manny Machado, who's a step and a half off the bag and fires an absolute rocket to second.
Yeah, he's got a great arm.
If that throw is anything less than what he does, because it's
almost beat it out.
Very high velocity, B on the money, and then to turn the next play at first is just like, I mean, it's a triple plays are a thing of beauty.
They are.
They just are. But that one was one of the best plays I've seen this whole year.
And then to watch the Padres celebrate in the locker room, in the dugout, and then on the field, they got their playoff berth.
I mean, that is a way to win, man. If you're gonna beat the Dodgers, beat them on a triple play. You know what I mean?
I guess. But all the momentum was going the Dodgers' way, and just to have them lose it that way in true Dodger fashion was, to Timmy's point, truly heartbreaking.
Tammy Price, friend of the channel.
Absolutely. Let's see here. We also got another comment from Jonathan. Braves, let's go and play some tomorrow. Actually, I think it's the same comment we already read.
Yep.
No, it's just a repeat. Something like that. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in there. So let's go ahead and get to the meat of what we want to talk about on baseball, which is Shohei Ohtani.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you think Now, obviously, we're talking about Shohei Ohtani when they were playing against the Marlins, where he went and broke the record and became the first ever 50-50 guy in baseball history against the Florida Marlins. Just to talk about what we're talking about. Did Shohei Ohtani have the single greatest performance in baseball history?
I mean, my answer is probably yes. This is probably the single best offensive performance in baseball history, as well as the most memorable offensive performance in MLB history. I mean, this is one of those videos that like you go to show your grandkids, like, yeah, I got my 50-50 game. Not to mention I went 6 for 6, had 3 home runs, 2 stolen bases, and batted in 10 runs.
Which is
in this that stat line is what you have rookies dream of doing in their first year. Right? You know what I mean? Like you have rookies that are like, if I can just hit like 3 home runs, bat in like 10 RBIs, like, hey, that's a great season for me. This is just Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 game.
Yeah, which is insane. Yeah, I'd have to say, okay, I have 2 answers to this question. Out of context, I would say no, it's not. It's not even the best performance by a Dodger in an offensive single season. Sean Green went 6 for 6, had 4 home runs, and had a total of 19 bases, and one of the home runs was not off of a position player. He also had a total of, like I said, 19 bases, which, by the way, he passed that game for most home runs by a Dodger was Sean Green that year. He hit 49. So out of context, no, it wasn't the best offense. It wasn't even the best offensive performance by a Dodger. But when it comes to in context, 100% absolutely is the best performance you'll ever see from offensive performance you'll ever see in Major League Baseball, because the context is what truly matters. You're looking at the stat sheet, that looks amazing, right? But you could probably see stat sheets other than that. When you realize he broke the Dodgers single season home run record at 50, he also is the first player to go 50-50 ever in baseball history. He's the first player in baseball history to hit 3 home runs and steal 2 bags in the same game. And it's also the first time that he has ever clinched a playoff spot all in one game.
It's remarkable.
Is absolutely insane. So for all those reasons, yes, I think that is obviously the best performance you're ever going to see.
Wins on wins on wins in that game.
By the way, special note, this is why baseball is the best professional sport out there. It's just so poetic, right? This game is poetic. I believe there's 2 things that you do not realize about that game that you're going to just be like, wow.
Okay.
So the first one is exactly 1 year to date that he went under the knife for his elbow surgery.
That was the night?
That was the night. 1 year to the night.
Wow. That is poetic.
And did you catch what else was important about where they were? Don't know if you got this part, but that was the exact same field where Shohei Ohtani struck out Mike Trout to win the WBC for Japan.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was. So yeah, same field that he ended up winning the WBC for Japan on, and the exact same field that he went 6 for 6, became the first 50-50 guy in baseball history.
That's actually kind of mind-blowing.
Can you imagine that?
That is insane.
This guy is on literally he's in a rehab year. This is a rehab year for Shohei Ohtani,
100%.
And he's like 2 home runs away from Aaron Judge, right now for total home runs. And he also has 50 stolen bases, by the way. Probably he's at, I think, 53 and 56 right now, something like that. I think he's 3 home runs away from 50-50, 55 and 55.
SB equals
MVP, baby.
Need to get that on a shirt.
We need to get that on a shirt.
That's on my to-do list.
That's a good shirt. Let us know, folks. Check out in the comments. Check out our merch down below there. We got some good baseball stuff. And if you have any shirt ideas for college football, NBA, let us know, man. We'd love to hear from you on that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I just think it's easily, again, the season in context. Yes, it was the greatest offensive performance we've ever seen in baseball history.
Yeah.
Now, I think we pretty much put to bed whether or not he's the MVP for the National League. I think that's kind of a done deal.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Sorry, Francisco Lindor.
That's
great
locked.
Season.
Yeah,
great season. Did you hear Big Papi casting some shade on Shohei Ohtani?
I did. This is really I've never had an issue with Big Papi.
No, love is Big Papi.
He's one of those guys that it's really cool to kind of see your personality after your career come out.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was a pretty animated guy when he was in the league, but
yeah,
since he's left the league,
hero for the Red Sox.
Yeah. I mean, he was
just the curse of the babe.
He was that guy, right? Like he was just that guy but these comments on Shohei are like one step below low because
someone's a little jealous.
I mean, his comments about being the pretty girl of Major League Baseball, MLB, and then saying that the MLB is encouraging him to reach 50-50.
How so? Like that's the part of the comment. I'm like, how so? Like if you look back at, no offense to Ronald Acuna Jr., those 73 stolen bags, legendary. You could take about a third of those and throw them out because they were in garbage time.
100%.
The Braves were either up by like 5 runs or down by 5 runs,
just slamming people.
Yeah,
and he's out there taking bases still.
Yeah, he's still, he was on a mission, and I 100% respect that. And I do think that you shouldn't give up on a game
because Ohtani's been on a mission this year too.
Yes, but these stolen bases were very, very few times were they not out of contact. I mean, yeah, the 50-50 game, obviously, like he's trying to get there.
Yeah,
Dodgers are up by 5 runs.
Yeah.
He's going to steal anyway to get in scoring position, but that's beside the point. The 50-50 game, definitely you can argue that. But I don't know, man. I would have to say that he's not being encouraged. There's no close calls that go his way. He's not stealing bases in garbage time. It's not like he's getting like special balls or anything like that. I mean, he did get special balls that were marked, but that's because they needed to be able to identify which one was a home run ball.
Right.
But like, I don't know, man. I don't know why. How is he getting encouraged by Major League Baseball?
I think I'd mostly disagree with this because it's pretty clear that, I mean, he says that he was never given an MVP because he was only a DH. That's like some of his heartburn about this whole situation. And Big Papi was great, right? But he didn't impact winning on the level like Shohei does. He wasn't out there stealing bases.
Yeah, this is a regular season award.
Yeah. And the fact is this is just a really, really bad look for Big Papi.
I agree.
I mean, the fact is you are a commentator. You are in the media at this point. You have your job is to take the high road here and talk about how Shohei is doing amazing things, how he is changing the game for DHs. He is changing the whole view on how DHs, you being a DH, can be viewed in an MVP perspective. You're retired, dude. You are absolutely just a spectator like every other person at this point in the game. Yeah, you have some MLB experience, but the fact is you're just watching just like we are.
True.
Give the respect to the game when it's earned. Shohei's earned this award. I'm not a Dodgers fan, but how can you not cheer for Shohei Ohtani and the remarkable season that he's had? Don't compare yourself, Big Papi, to one of the quite obviously best people to ever play this game at the level that he's playing it. No. That's my opinion.
Well said, man. Well said. Not really much I could add there. He did actually get like a few 5th and 4th and 3rd place third place finishes for MVP.
But it's not like you're nobody in their life are going to look at Big Papi's career and Shohei's career, even to this point, and say these guys are on the same level. They're just not.
They're just not. I would agree with that 100%. And I also have to say, when it comes to that, is that was Big Papi robbed from getting an MVP?
Yeah, maybe.
If he was played in this era where batting averages and all that stuff isn't as important, like there's different things when it comes to the voting process people care more about now than they did then. And yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but
that's not anybody's fault.
No, you can't blame that. And it definitely feels a lot like Shaq and like Cheryl Swoops when it comes to all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
Where it comes about the old hats just hating on the new guard for getting into play in a time where the money's better and the play is a little bit more funner to watch. And they just kind of seem like they just kind of hating on the new guys. And I don't like seeing that for Big Papi because he's obviously one of my favorite analysts when it comes to
I love watching him because he's spirited, he's fun. He does add a perspective that you've never seen because a lot of these commentators are not great players in the game like Big Papi was.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like he was a huge influencer to the game of baseball. He helped bring it around. His DH
helped beat the curse of the babe.
I mean, he's got he's all these great things that he did for the game, but because of that, you have to be that guy that helps move the game forward and not take it back.
Absolutely. We have some comments here from Tammy here, friend of the channel. See here, he had so much hype to live up to. Yeah, in his first year, honestly, felt bad for him.
But he rose above it.
Bad for him, but he rose above it. And let's see here. Sorry, chat glitchy tonight. Oh, really? Okay. Thanks for letting us know. We'll definitely look into that. Yeah, I'll have to 100% agree with you on that one, Tammy. If you keep taking the fact that this is a rehab year for him.
Yeah.
Like, he's rehabbing off of a second elbow surgery in the last 3 years. He's also went through having his best friend steal $15 million from him. New team, new city-ish, just got married. These are all things that would throw off most players' seasons. And he, rose above and exceeded our expectations for a $700 million contract player.
He just kept going, man.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely agree. Couldn't have said any better for myself there, AJ. So well put for sure. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know in the comments down below if you're watching this on YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think when it comes to the Shohei Ohtani. Was that the greatest single season performance ever by a baseball player? We'd love to hear from you on that. Also, let us know what you think about the Big Papi, basically casting a little bit of jelly towards Shohei Ohtani's way. We'd love to hear from you on that. Yeah. Also, folks, we did just hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel. If you have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We're giving the first $500 that we earn in AdSense revenue back to our subscribers. So if you have not yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. 5 subscribers are each going to earn $100 each. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that giveaway.
Absolutely. And if you're watching on YouTube on one of our short videos, just know this whole episode is available as a podcast, wherever you get your audio only, in its closest to raw format that you're going to get besides the live stream. So make sure you tune in, leave us a rate, leave us a review. We appreciate all your guys' engagement.
Check out our live stream every Wednesday night. Be sure you join us. We'd love to have you live in the comments here. Love to hear from you. Stay out of it, Siri. We'd love to hear from you. Join us on the live stream every Wednesday. Also, folks, make sure you check out our merch. We got a bunch of stuff down there. Check it out. The 643 stolen bases equals MVP.
It's all coming. It's all coming. Let us know which one your favorite is.
And also comment in our video if it's switched the wrong way. We need to hear from you on that. Let us know.
Yes.
With all that said, my name is Darren. That is AJ. And this has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.
Long show. Thank you guys very much for joining us on that one. It was a marathon.
Very long. That was
lots to talk about.
Wow.
Lots to talk about.
Especially for how few for how few things we actually had, man.
That's dude, we were like 45 minutes into that.
We were just rocking
Utah football.
I think you're still streaming.
I know. Just let it go from there for thank you guys all for joining us on the comments live stream. Appreciate it. Thank you guys very so much for joining us. We actually got up to 11 subscribers this time. Sorry, 11 people watching on this one.
Excellent.
Which is great.
Yeah,
we love it. We'll see you guys next week. Check us out on YouTube. Also check out our Instagram shorts. Follow us on Instagram and check out our merch. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate it. Till next time.